friends. Welcome back to Attacking Third, presented by Tylenol, the official pain reliever of the National Women's Soccer League. I'm your host, Darian Jenkins, joined by the lovely McCall, Zerboni, and Lindsey. We have a jam-packed show for you today. We are going to be talking about the NWSL Semifinals preview, the NWSL End of Awards, and some of the little controversy about the timing of the voting. I'm also confused, as well as our Women's Champions League reactions and chatting the Americans who are bawling out right now. If you're listening as a podcast with us here, or you're listening, if you're with us live on YouTube, thank you for joining in. Jump in the chat, let us know what's going on. And thank you if you're tuning in live on Galazanet or listening as a podcast. We appreciate it. Ladies, we were just talking about the weather and ideal playing weather before we jumped on this call, but it's fall. New York got some snow. I'm sure Philly also got some snow. McCall, you've been in Italy. You've been in Texas. You're in all the good weather. But are you guys like pumpkin spice latte people? Is that like kind of your move when the weather turns?
Yes. Oh, that makes sense, McCall.
Of course. Like, it totally fits me, right? I'm so festive. And I went to Starbucks the other day to ask for a PSL. And they were like, we're out of pumpkin sauce. Like, that's how hot it is right now. They didn't have any more. And I was like, no.
Wait, I thought this would be a complete no for you, given that you're Italian and you just spent so much time in Italy.
Yeah, just a straight espresso.
I get in a cappuccino and then like one pumpkin. So like a little bit of flavoring.
Yeah. I am not a Starbucks person. And I am absolutely not a pumpkin spice latte. I don't even actually know if I might have had a sip of somebody's, but I am like,
Lori, I always imagine you with the tiniest little espresso cup. Like, this is how I see you. You just always have the tiniest little cup, like everywhere you go.
Lori gives cortado.
Yes, that is it. Yes,
yeah.
Thank you. It's the best in between. I'll get a macchiato every once in a while, but sometimes it's a little bit too strong, and I like a little bit more milk, and then the cortado's right below the cappuccino. So,
yeah.
But McCall, I'm going to Italy for 10 days in December in the off season, so I'm pumped. Yeah.
Yay. Oh, that's awesome. Living on some espresso.
Yeah, exactly. I'll report back. No PSLs.
Well, guys, we have a jam-packed show. Let's get into the semifinals coming up this weekend. Starting Saturday, we have Washington Spirit versus Portland Thorns. And let's get into the Tylenol injury report because Washington had some knocks from last week's game. Trinity Rodman Gonzalez said that she's progressing day by day. She's on track. Let's see how she ends the week. How do you guys feel Rodman's presence, even just being on the bench, the aura that she has, does for their team? Because last week I was like, there ain't no way she's playing. There is no way she's playing. Really? But I think even just no chance. Yeah. She had her rings stacked. She was looking.
Oh, you mean
cute.
By the looks of her?
Yeah, and like we just saw her in a full brace. Like you're not doing that and then jumping into a match. I just thought there's no way she's playing. But I think what she brings on the sideline, not just for memes' sake, which was hilarious. I hope she never ever gets media trained. But I think just like her presence adds an edge to that team.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Do you think that her presence, even just being there, could be really influential, or do you think she'll get some minutes?
What do you think, Laura?
I think it's going to depend on the game. I think they're going to try to be as cautious as possible. And I agree with you. I mean, we were panning to her a lot, and just the aura of having Trinity Rodman on the bench, and just even the element of like for the other team, like, can she come on at any second? Especially to change the course of the game, I think adds a different psychological aspect that many, many players in global women's soccer don't have in their favor. Yeah. So I very much expect her to be on the bench again. I don't think she'll start. And I also think it's just going to come down to what does the game look like? I don't think they had any intentions of putting her in. But I agree with you, Darian, like her vibe. And then the joke was, and I've seen a few other memes too, as soon as that whistle blew when Kingsbury made another save, I mean, I'm like, is there actually an injury to that leg still?
She, like, 90 windows. 100%. She was juking. Perfect. She was hopping over to swing the flag with Esme. I was like, she looks fine.
Yeah, I think they'll. It does sound like she is training more, partially in, partially out. But I think it'll just be one of those game time decisions. I mean, she wasn't even warming up. Actually, she had like the suit on. But when the pregame warm up, she was just standing on the sideline. So I didn't have any expectation, but that could change. But I think when you look at the other injuries too, they're going to have to shake some things up because it looked like Leon was in some, and we've seen people bounce back, so I don't want to speculate, but she looked to be in some considerable pain. Sounds like Carl's out completely. I mean, her hamstring in the first.
You knew it. You knew immediately when we saw it.
I actually think that's a huge loss for them too.
Me too.
And like she has not gotten enough credit for what she's done. And we'll talk about the awards later, but I feel like she just quietly goes about her business and offers so much for them. So
that's a good shout. Yeah.
No, I love her. I'd at least put her on second best 11. You know, she's not one of those flashy players, but she does her business. She's hard to beat twice. She's very quick, very diligent, organized. I think she's been really good
on both sides, right? Like she gets in, offers like a subtleness to the way that they play in terms of the width, and then also is a very good defender.
Very good defender. She can keep up with some of the best attackers on the right or the left. You know, it doesn't matter. She can keep up. But you know, that moment, you just saw it on her face. Like, you know, like your hamstring just grabs and you know that you pulled it. And the look on her face was just devastation. Like she knew right away. It was so sad. But I mean, as far as Trent is concerned, I agree. I don't think they had any intention in the quarterfinal of playing her because they thought that they could take care of Louisville without her. But I am wondering if
they almost didn't. That's why I'm like, they almost didn't do it.
But having her in the team environment on the bench with the team, you know, she's a big part of like just like the juice that they feel. Like she gives them a lot of hype, a lot of confidence, and even just like the threat to the other team to think, oh my gosh, they still might put Trent in at this moment. It does something to your psyche. So I'm sure she'll be on the bench again. I would love to see her get some minutes and get in there, but obviously not at the safety and risk of her. So.
Yeah, maybe it's more of we'd see her like later in the second half, get a couple minutes or something, at least with Trinity Rodman. But the other players, though, between Tara McKeown, who looked like she was in a lot of pain with her ankle, that was a tough watch to watch her ankle kind of give. We've all been there. And Gabby Carl, those are two very, very consistent players in their back line. And this team has had a lot of knocks this year. I know that they're determined to get back to the final. They want vengeance from last year. They want to come and perform. They've gained momentum at the right moments in the season. Do you guys think they have the team to do it against Portland, who I think have been the team that's been underrated, but very quietly gained a lot of confidence with all of their very young players and Rob Gale losing his mind on the sidelines? Like, they have a lot of energy going into this match because, I mean, Mike, I kind of wrote them off at the beginning of the season and they totally proved me wrong.
I mean, here's my thing about the Spirit. They didn't rotate their lineup very much in the back line. So, I mean, Tara played 25 games out of 26. Like, she was always in there. Carl, same thing. So now it's those two people that you're so familiar and used to having. And that's going to be a big switch up in the most important game of the season. And for me, these are the times that you miss players like Casey Kruger because she does add so much quality and depth in your back line. And that would be a natural and easy slide in. So it's like, now what do? Do you play a 3-back with Esme, Bernal, and Weisner? Or do you maybe put Paige Mateer at outside back and, you know, you move Weisner to the left, put Paige to the right? Like, they're going to be forced with some questions that they haven't tinkered with earlier in the season at the most important time of the season.
Yeah, I can see them doing like maybe a Esme Morgan Bernal situation. And then, as you said, maybe Mateer or Abiodun, who played there. But I would imagine maybe they'd go with Mateer just in the sense that when she came in on Saturday, I thought she was excellent and she covers so much ground. So I feel like it gives them a little bit of hybrid. You can still have essentially a 3-back like they play in their hybrid situation, and then Mateer can go. So it is going to be interesting from the standpoint of, does Washington have what it takes? I think the thing that was interesting about Washington is that they could have put that game away in the first half. And they could have done that against Orlando before the international break. And I feel like they're going to, here's why they're going to have to do that against Portland, because I think the biggest thing that Portland has done this year, and they've gotten better in the second part of the season, is they become much more stingy defensively, particularly Coffey and Fleming. They don't get separated. They stay compact, and that will suit them in this game. The issue with Portland is they don't have a ton of verticality outside of Raylan Turner, and so there's not like a huge threat. But that's where I feel like sometimes with Washington, they just they create these chances, but they don't put it away. And this is a Portland team I think is just gained a lot of confidence as of late, and they just keep going and they're finding ways. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But it's going to be about being clinical, in my opinion, for Washington.
Yeah, no.
So the longer the game goes is going to play in Portland's favor then.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. I think they're a team that gains a lot of confidence. And I'm looking at some of the matchups even, and I think, Bernal also, we're going to talk about her in our next segment. Criminally underrated, whether she's playing in the 6 or she's the center back. We'll chop that up more later, but there's a lot of, I think, the midfield battle between these sides, I think Portland's much more of a conservative midfield, and Spirit have a much more aggressive, especially when, Lacey Santos, Corey Bethune are starting to connect and combine, and depending on who's operating in the 6, if it's Hal, if it's Bernal, what those rotations look like. To me, that's where the game is going to be won and lost between these two teams.
It is the midfield battle, as much as we like LOL about it's the midfield battle.
No, but truly, the Croy versus Coffee matchup, I'm super looking forward to that.
Yeah.
That's going to have all the juice. But, watching that last match from the Spirit, when they scored early on and then it was taken away, I said to myself, oh, they could win this 3-0 right now. Like they're, but once that goal was taken away, it gave Louisville a breath of fresh air and life. And right after that, then they started like exercising that dog mentality that they usually do, because they got a lifeline, and then they got Spirit, and they, were getting gritty in the game. And that's what put the Spirit on their heels and leveled the game for them. But if that goal would have counted, I think the Spirit would have ran away with it. So I think an early goal will be important for the Spirit.
Yeah, that clinical aspect. Looking at both of these sides, I think both had a lot of change this year. Spirit, obviously, injuries. Portland, a lot of players just stepped away or left the team, whatever it may be. I mean, Sophia Wilson's that has a beautiful little girl. Who has to step up in this match? Because playoffs is such a different beast than the season of, it's been long. It's a different type of game. It's a different mentality, different level of intensity. Portland has a young team, but I'm looking at Olivia Moultrie as the one to step up and lead. Like, nothing phases her at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the player for you guys too. I mean, I know someone mentioned Sam Coffey, but to me, I think she's the one that actually defines the game on both sides of them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think in Moultrie's case, this is when players start to come alive and feel really comfortable with their 4th or 5th year in the league, right? Like, she's still very, very young, but she's been playing with the same squad in the league for a while, and she has a lot of pride, a lot of familiarity. She wants to take this team on her back now, and she's showing the ability to do that. I think where she goes, Portland goes, because she's that engine there. When she's having a good game, usually the rest of the team follows. And it's a large responsibility for a young player, but she's doing it, and she's making a difference, whether she's assisting or scoring or just, getting into positions that make the other team sweat. She really has a very good football brain for how youthful she is.
Yeah. I mean, that's the player. I also would put Raylan Turner in there, because when we were making the point about, I can see them being smart defensively, making it difficult for there be a lot of space for Washington to operate, and they're going to need to have an outlet. And I think Moultrie could be that first line or that first pass, but you need to have somebody threatening in behind, and really that player is Raylan Turner. So it's just going to be about her timing her runs, finding which side makes the most sense, because I do, as we had previously said with Washington, there is a side that they usually leave a little bit more available in terms of if they push somebody high. So just finding Raylan Turner on one of those sides where she can exploit some of that space potentially, I think will be the most advantageous for them. But I think that needs to kind of be the game plan, and she's going to have to be in tune with Moultrie.
The player on Washington side is Kawasi for me.
You love her. And
I'm obsessed with her.
Yeah.
I am obsessed with her. I thought she was incredible in their last match. She didn't get tired. She was bombing up and down the field. She was box defending. She was setting up everything. She ultimately got the assist. If I'm Portland, I'm trying to shut her down, because especially if Rodman's out, that's the player that can break us.
Yeah.
She's a joy to watch, but she also does the work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, when a player gets the ball, you're like, ooh, something exciting is going to happen. But she also, when you're not looking at her, when she's off the ball, she's doing the work. I've been loving Kouassi, and I agree with the Raylan Turner, but Torden, especially like we said, the longer the game goes on, good. I love her. The longer the game goes on, sub her in, let her be all busy and magical and all the things. Like, she'll bring that energy. And if it's still 0-0, put that girl on the field, you know?
Yeah. Great point. And then going back to Kouassi, though, I feel like not only does she put in the work, her timing, like she pops in. I feel like she made it so difficult for Racing Louisville to defend her. And that was part of the issue in the first half, because there was a lot of ground for Taylor Flint to have to cover. And I think she got a little bit caught, like, who am I actually picking up? And then Kouassi did a really good job of just pinching in at the right time. And then that allows for like the overlap. So, I mean, the width is the primary look, I feel like, for Washington when they attack, especially when Trin's in. So Kouassi can, as you mentioned, Darian, can be that player. But I do think they're going to have to be patient. They're going to have to be smart to be able to break down, and the movement to play off of one another has to be crisp too.
Yeah, I agree. Well, our favorite part of the matches, what are your guys' predictions? Lori, let's start with you. What's your prediction for this one? How do you think it's going to go between Spirit and Portland?
Yeah, goodness.
At Rowdy Outy.
Yeah, I know. Sold out Rowdy Outy, which is going to be, and they're all wearing yellow. I feel like we've done like a blackout before, but I don't know if we've done the yellow. So
I said they need to be like, is it Dortmund and have a yellow wall? Like, they've got neon yellow. It should be a force. Yeah.
I'm hoping for goals, so I'm going to go. I'm going to go on record by saying, because Portland I've been a huge fan of Portland all season. I've just liked their trajectory. I like that they've been able to quickly rebuild in real time after losing so many important players last year. So I do have a soft spot for them. I've said that all season. But I think the record away from home hasn't been tremendous. And at Rowdy Outy, I'm going with Washington 2-1. It makes me want to puke.
Does it? That's good. That's good.
Lori, I thought you were doing like a little make the stallion, like,
No, I wish. I was barf.
No, the sick kind of
Yeah.
McCall, what do you got? Are you feeling the same vibes?
I mean, I'm hesitant to make a prediction before I see the full availability report. I think the injuries are going to be kind of the big part. Even like an MA, right? We didn't mention Emma Vignola, but if she's back, they're gonna need her. I think, you know, there's nothing like her, and she'll keep up with the best on those flanks. You know, Spirit's a good footballing team. They had 66 possession last game, 66%. So they'll keep the ball away from Portland, but Portland's gritty. They'll hang in there. So I think it's going to be small margins, 1-0 at the end. Spirit.
Ooh. I'm rocking with Lori. I'm going to say 2-1. I think we'll have some goals. I think it'll be an exciting game. But Rowdy Outy, there's going to be more than one.
We love that.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. I can't wait to see the yellow.
So let's just go 3-2. Give us some action, people. Give us that.
I can go 3-2. Why not? I can go 3-2. Shout out to Trey, who put a poll up here on our YouTube, and the chat thinks that Spirit will win. 62% of the chat believes that. So they're kind of rocking with us. Appreciate that. Let's jump over to the other match, Sunday. Orlando versus Gotham. McCall, you've supercharged Marta for this weekend. I had to say, she is firing on all cylinders for this match. But you look at them, and I think these two teams have had such different – I think they both had 3 or 4 match weeks where they've been really good. So impressed. You see what they're building. They're very consistent. And then have had 3 to 4 weeks where you're like, what's happening? Where did both of these teams go? I can't see the idea of what's coming together. But both of these teams are playoff teams. They show up in playoffs. They make big moves. They know they have such good coaches that know how to manage well in these games. Is there a favorite going into this?
I mean, yeah, Marta seems ready, which is great. Like when she's motivated, she'll put her best foot forward and play one of her best games and put the team on her back. You know, she just has that strength. But that's exactly right, Darian. Both of these teams have had inconsistent performances this year. And that's what makes this matchup so exciting, because it's like, which Orlando are we going to get? And which Gotham are we going to get? And both teams, you know, have their world global stars, right? Like if Rose Lavelle is about her business for the day, goodbye and good night, trying to keep up with her. If Marta's on her best day, you know what I'm saying? Like they have very, very good players that always seem to show up when it matters. And so I would imagine they're both going to put their best foot forward, and it's going to be really tight and neck and neck. I'm super excited for this matchup. This is the one for me.
But McCall, do you think there's a favorite? Do you think either of these teams is more the favorite coming into
like
this
from
match?
me or from what outsiders think?
No, just from you.
Well, I think Orlando is the reigning champions, right? And Gotham was number 8. So I think everyone has super high expectations of Orlando, and I know that they have them of themselves too. Like they felt disappointed and bummed that they came in 4th, because they won the Shield and the championship last year. For them, they just want to keep proving themselves that they can be back-to-back champions, and there's no bigger motivation because I think that's one of the hardest things to achieve.
Lori, do you think there's a favorite?
I mean, I think the favorite. Well, I think outsiders' favorite is probably Orlando. Yes, in the sense that they are seated higher. They're playing at home. I actually think this is a game that Gotham can win. I think when you look at Gotham, they just beat Kansas City away from home. It's the same trajectory they had a few years ago. You all did, McCall, going from 8th place. And also I think you have Ann Katzenberger, you have an experienced back line. And right now, I feel like Gotham has more threats in the attack than Orlando does. Now, I said coming into these playoffs, though, I felt like Marta was going to be the difference maker and she was going to be the X factor. And anytime you have Marta, prove me wrong because she's dynamite, right? Like we all know that she's the GOAT. So
but she needs help. There's 11 players out there.
And full credit to Orlando because I think we all were like, well, this is doom and gloom really for a long time, especially at the second part of the season. And then they got a couple wins and the whole trajectory of their season changed. But there's something about this Gotham team that I feel like, and I was on the call back, I think it was in September when Gotham beat Orlando down in Orlando. And it was a really important game for both teams. And it kind of helped. Well, I thought I was going to shift the momentum of Gotham, but that proved to be wrong.
Hence all the drama this week.
Yeah. So I do think, I'm thinking that this could be Gotham. I think that would be the upset. Yeah.
This is going to be the upset.
I hope the Orlando fans show up in the stadium. I think they really need the help from the fans.
It's a good point.
I'm going to summon them right now because I think for Orlando to have the advantage of a home match, they need the people to show up and show out for them how they have done in the past. But I mean, I've played some games there lately and we've all seen they haven't been as much, and I think that's going to be the edge that they need, so people got to go support them and do it for them.
But I could see this game. Could you see this game going into penalties or at least extra time?
Oh,
I don't know, actually.
Okay, but if it went to pens, who would win?
Gotham.
We don't have good feelings, homie, in semifinal pens.
Last year's a little scarring from penalties.
Yeah.
Fair. God.
I mean, better shot stopping goalkeeper on pens is the difference for me.
Anna's we know AKB is incredible on pens. Anna is very good.
Yeah.
Anna is very good on pens. I just don't think we get to see that so much on the actual game stage from her as much as we do from Katzenberger.
I do think, this is a tough one. I say all that about Gotham, and then now I'm like, I want to puke again because I'm like, I believe in what Orlando winning the championship and how much momentum that gives you, and then just knowing how to win in these certain situations. So it's huge.
I guess
we're talking about the last 2 champions playing each other in the semifinal. Just pause right there. That's why this is the matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a big part of it is looking at, Gotham's game against Kansas City. That sparked so much hope. And both of these teams, the storylines, the drama of this last weekend of the quarterfinals was so good because on one hand, you have Gotham taking down the record-breaking, one of the best teams we've seen in the NWSL, taking them down in the late minutes. And it's another Katie Stengel absolute finish, sealing the deal for them to move on. On the other side, you have Marta in the 90th minute bombing down the line like she's 20 years old, looking fresh, knowing exactly what she's going to do, setting up her defender, Sam Meza, and getting the penalty and passing it to Luana. The stories. When I think you look back at all of the 4 teams that are in this are the last 4 NWSL champions, which is crazy, that they have storylines behind them. I mean, McCall, your year was Ali Krieger stepping away, and you guys just had this electric team that was blue collar, and it was so electric to be just around the energy of it. And then Orlando last year with Marta possibly retiring, it was Luana again, and this team just coming together from the previous year. There's so much on the line between these 2 teams that I actually think it's very, very even. But I'm giving the up to Orlando. Let's get into predictions. I'm saying Orlando's going to do it, and it's going to be 2-1. I got to ride with my Pride girls.
I like it. I'm going Gotham 2-1 just to counteract. Oh God!
Okay, I like it.
No, yeah. Seb, I love you all.
No, you're not alone, Lori. I'm going 2-1 Gotham as well. I think the 8 to great. They love that ride, and they've been there.
I'm going to start saying that 8 to great,
and they know what they're doing, and they have depth off the bench. We see what Katie Stengel can do. Possibly Astaire is ready.
She'll be warmer in Orlando than she was in Kansas City.
I'm curious, what's up with Ali Watt? Is it like a 0? Is it possible? Because I think they could really, even off the bench, use her, and Charlie as well. But I just think, the 2 aforementioned players coming off the bench for Gotham are they've proven that they can do it in the playoffs.
As have Orlando, though. I know it's going to be a really fun game. I'm really looking forward to seeing this one and who's going to come out on top. And of course, A3 will recap it all right after the match ends. So be sure to tune into that. Well, we're not done talking about NWSL. We are going to be talking about the kind of controversial awards that dropped after the quarterfinals. So stick with us after this quick break.
You can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. So even if you can't count on accurate expiration dates,
that is a rookie mistake,
or people appreciating your fashion sense,
Jim, the crowd is not on board here.
You can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount Plus.
Glad we wear our good jerseys.
Yeah.
Can I hear you? Can everybody see what we see, though? Because those shrimps on that commercial, I'm like, I don't think I would grab one of those. Yes, so we are going into talking about, so we had 2 predictions, 2-1, 2-1, and then Darian's with Orlando. And now we're going to talk about basically the voting and when it came about, because for me, Lori, you either do the voting before playoffs start or after playoffs start, not after the quarterfinal is finished, because like what that says to me is all those players that were in the quarterfinal have another chance to show what they can do, and say they have a brilliant game that may give them a little bit of the edge on the voting. And
100%. We're totally on the same page.
Hello.
Oh, she's back.
Oh, bless. I don't know what happened. I didn't touch anything. Whatever. Technology is not my strong suit. So, McCall, sorry I cut you off. Continue.
No, I was just taking your hosting job for a second, but I don't even want it. So
oh, good job. Okay, so we got into the awards. Timing was funky. They announced the awards, who you could vote for after the quarterfinals, which to me is very confusing. Now everybody's considering the quarterfinal matches and seeing the nominees and thinking, well, why are some of these people nominated? There's a lot of snubs, but it's really just from the regular season. That's what we have to keep in mind. It's just regular season voting.
What you saw.
You can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
We know too much.
Recency bias is like a huge thing. So if you're like voting, because then it's like, who's the top of my mind? Who also did I just watch play? Who had a good game? And it's like,
who didn't have the best game? It's very confusing. It's very NWSL, I have to say. But let's get into the list of the players that were nominated. Congratulations to these players. I mean, if we could nominate everybody, I absolutely would, because it's a difficult season. It's incredibly long. But the players that really stood out, starting with goalkeepers that were nominated, and Katrin Berger, Lorena, and Claudia Dickey. First off, any snubs? Is there a keeper that we think was missing out on this from the regular season? This is the one category where I don't really have one.
No, that seems fitting for me.
Yeah.
We could put Kingsbury in there, but also I feel like because she's had a very good season, but then also are we all thinking because she
balled out in the quarterfinals again.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh yeah, she did that last year. So
well, yeah, but you know what? I feel bad for her because I feel like she has a good season every season and somehow gets overlooked. Like I don't understand like why she doesn't get that extra flick to the top, because I think she's a very, very good goalkeeper. And there's just other ones that people like to mention more, but yeah, obviously honorable mention is her. Like,
yeah. Who do you guys think wins it?
Who do I think, or who am I voting for?
Because McCall, take it however you're thinking, not what everyone else is thinking.
I know, because like people be people in, we know that, like there is a fan vote involved. So I think Lorena should have it. And the reason I'm going to say this, and I'll continue this with my answers, is that when a player is new to this league and they still perform well, and they don't know any of the landscape, not much of the players, it's their first time, they're getting used to the travel, the demands.
Learning a new language as well.
Learning a new language, all that stuff, and still shines. So for me, because Lorena is new and she had a fantastic season, and obviously her team won the Shield, so got to give it to her.
Lori, I
would say Lorena. Also, I think that job is much more difficult than a lot of people think in terms of, she doesn't get a lot of action in a lot of games because they're dominating, and a lot of their attack is their best defense throughout. And we saw that this season a ton. But when it was mattered, Lorena came up with some huge saves. And so full credit to her. I actually be curious and interested about if you're peeling back all of like how the teams did, and you're just looking at that one position, then I would probably say Claudia Dickey. Because I do think if you look at the stat, she is up in the stats.
She was peppered.
Yeah. And Laura Harvey, even before the season or at the very beginning of the season, spoke about how much she worked in the off season. She obviously that drove her ability to get in with the U.S. national team. And now she has an opportunity to be a mainstay there. So I think specifically for the position and how the player developed or has developed, I would probably give it to Claudia Dickey in that regard. But I think when you look overall, it would be Lorena for her job, but also what Kansas City's done.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going Claudia Dickey. Y'all, she faced 121 shots and had a 74% save percentage. I mean, that's pretty insane. I think if we're looking at who was really tested throughout the year, that's why Jane Campbell's won so many years from Houston, and they don't make it into playoffs often. So she would have my vote. Okay, let's move on to defenders. Avery Patterson, Izzy Rodriguez, Tara McKeown, Jordan Bugg, and Kayla Sharples. Lori, I feel like I know exactly where you're going.
Well, I'm going with Kayla Sharples. I thought Kayla was excellent. I think the trajectory of her career, has been fabulous. I think she's become just a way more well-rounded center back. And then I think when you look at the back line and what she's had to do, Alana Cook, her center back partner, goes down against Orlando in that game. And I think she held the team together. And I think she was very aggressive with the way that she played. She matched the style. So I thought she was fabulous. I think she's deserving of that. I mean, when you think about, maybe we're doing snubs in a second, but I mean, I think we can all agree that how is Emily Sana not on this list? Like what?
Emily Sana and Rebecca Bernal.
Yeah, and Bernal. Yeah.
WTF.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Great. Yeah. I know it's hard. There's only so many spaces, right? Because like I have a few people that were like left off of it, but I mean, so are we giving our answers now? Because I'm excited. I mean, my defender of the year is Izzy Rodriguez. And the reason I'll say that is she played in all 26 matches on the best team in the league who won the Shield, all while getting 6 assists, got her first call up to the U.S. Women's National Team, and they also have the most wins, right? So in 26 games. So she is a winning star defender. And it's like when we voted Tara McKeown Defender of the Year. It was her first call up, her greatest year. You know what I mean? It's very similar to that. This was the year of Izzy Rodriguez.
Yeah. I love that show.
Izzy was as good of an attacker for them as she was a defender, let's be honest.
Actually, right?
Wing.
Right, got her first goal with the national team as well, even though we're not considering that in our vote, just giving her the credit.
I just don't understand how Sonnet is not even. I just don't.
The Sonnet snub, the Rebecca Bernal snub is wild. But it's interesting how these come together. But I would have to give my vote as well to Kayla Sharples. I think she's been phenomenal in the regular season for Kansas City, grown in her game, dealt with adversity. Lori said it all. I don't need to repeat it, but Kayla Sharples would have my vote. And justice for Emily Sonnet and Rebecca Bernal.
Yes.
All right, midfield. Manaka Matsukubo, Claire Hutton, Dabinia, Kenza Dali, and Olivia Moultrie. Let's go snubs first. Where's Rebecca Bernal for the midfield as well? How did she not make it? As well as Lola Bonta. I think those are two players, and I'm like, exceptional years.
And so did Howell, though.
Taylor Flint.
Really good year.
Caitlin Howell.
Taylor Flint, to me, how important she was to the way racing was. Yeah, I think it's...
This one was tough.
It's tough. There's only so many spaces, right? And even it was tough for me to decide who I wanted to win because, like I said, love Dali because she's new to this league and the splash that she was able to make right away, especially, being in the French league for so long and having a style of play that's not transitional and not fast-paced like the NWSL is. And she still really translated well and had a great year for San Diego. But Matsukubo, that is my vote. She is nasty. She is something else. And she's still quite young. She's only 20 years old. Her first year in America in this league with a team that was difficult to play with at times and for at times. And she just always found a way to put her best performance forward. She was being played at the 9 for a little bit. They've asked a lot of her this season and she still just rose to every occasion and balled out.
God, I already filled this out and I can't even remember who I put. I can't remember if I put Manaka or Moultrie. But honestly, I think a huge snub is Coffee. I think for them to finish third, she became their captain. She had to essentially grow up this season and lead this team when you saw the amount of injuries, pregnancies, everything, the loss to retirement, no one had any hope for this team, I feel like. And I mean, they have like 8 starters out and something wild, the whole front line. And so for what she's done in terms of leading this team, I think that she helps Olivia Moultrie. I mean, Olivia is amazing, but I think she helps Olivia do what she does in these types of games because she can play on the front foot a bit more. So that would be a huge snub for me, just what she's provided for this team and how they finished and throughout some of the ebbs and flows. But I'm going to go with Manaka. I think Manaka's was exceptional.
Okay. 2 for 2 so far.
She's dirty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. What about you?
It's so difficult. I love Kenza Dali.
Yay!
I'm giving my vote to Kenza Dali. I think the year she's had with a team that's been pretty inconsistent, she's been the mainstay that's kept them afloat. And her even saying, this is the best football I've been playing in a really long time. I'm enjoying it.
Aww.
She's brought the French wave over to San Diego. I think this team would look completely different without her. So Kenza Dali has my vote. Yeah, I'm rocking with it. Justice for Jay Hal, Taylor Flint, Rebecca Bernal, and who else do we say? Lola Bonta. A lot of players that we're missing from the midfield. Okay, coach. We have Gonzalez, Bevianez, and Vlatko and Danovsky. And before people start freaking out in the chat about Vlatko because they lost in the quarters, this is meant to be pre-quarterfinals, just regular season, record-breaking season. Okay. What do you guys think? Well, first, is there a snub for coach? Did anyone else?
I mean, I think you could say Juan. Yeah, like he's found a way again. You know, here he is in a semifinal again. But again, we can't count the playoffs. And I think, again, there was up and down performances from Gotham this season, for sure. There was a time where we were all looking around and thinking, they ain't gonna make it. This does not look good. But they pulled out and they stuck to it, and they figured out a way. So that's my snub.
I don't know if I have a snub in this one, but I mean, without a doubt, it's Bev Yanez for me. You get like,
Same.
It's not even. I love what Vlatko's done for the team, and they won the Shield in September. But like, first time,
all the congratulations, record-breaking year. Yeah.
Bev, hands down, go.
Yeah, that one in the middle right there, Bev, 100%. And to know that she was struggling personally off the field and everything she had to manage. She has a family. She's the first player to ever do it. She's writing history. And she put her best foot forward tactically every game, I thought. It wasn't like she was smart. Just like, everybody work hard and like see what happens. No, she was also organizing them in the attack and without the ball very well every matchup.
Yeah, Bev also has my vote. Incredible teammate, incredible human, amazing coach. The players love her. We love her. Bev has to win this. No contest. Shout out to Adrian Gonzalez, though. Great job coaching the Spirit this year. Okay, Rookie of the Year. This year was so much different than last year. I think last year we had these rookies absolutely balled out, but last year it was such a different level that put so many of these players on the map. But the Rookie of the Year nominations are Darlene, Riley Tiernan, and Lily Reel. How do you ladies feel about this? Are there any other rookie snubs that we missed? In my opinion, no. I think that this is kind of the people that I think of that stood out throughout the season consistently. It's these three players.
Yeah, I would agree.
I just think for me, it's Tiernan, and a rookie that can score goals like that. That's incredible. It's one thing to have a good, solid year defensively and everything that Lily Reel was, but to find a way to score that many goals in your first season at the highest level is just mind-blowing to me. And then about her story about, she didn't have a contract. She went in there during preseason to just work her tail off and earn a spot. And, Coach Sam was just like, every time I go through a highlight to clip for the team, she's involved in it. I can't deny this young player that she deserves a roster spot on this team. And that's what she did during preseason and their early friendlies to say, hey, I'm here, put me on the team. I'm not going anywhere. And not only that, to earn herself a starting spot week in and week out and then also score goals. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible what she's done.
Yeah, 8 goals, 1 assist. She also has my vote. I think especially when you're a rookie and you're playing for a team that is going through a coaching change, it's inconsistent. Players are coming and going. That you've relied on Alyssa Thompson, who leaves for Chelsea, and she kind of took the team on her back and really led them to pick up points this year. Riley Tiernan has my vote, but I think Lily Reel and Maddie Darlene have done exceptional. I don't think that it's their gameplay that maybe wasn't the reason why they're going to win it. I think it was more so like tactically what their coaches were doing, that they're still figuring out where we're going to get the absolute best and most effectiveness out of those two players. Lori, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I'm going with Lily Reel. I mean, everybody said everything, but I am going to go with Lily. I think it's also really difficult for a player that played majority of her career as a center back to come in and play as a left back and kind of play a hybrid role, because she was expected to cover a lot of ground, to get higher up the way that Gotham plays, and also to defend at a young age the way that she did against some of these top players, I think is exceptional. So Lily Reel is my vote, but completely agree with everything that's said about Darlene and Riley Tiernan for sure.
Yeah. Shout out to the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
Okay, MVP. Last but not least, we have Delphine Cascarino, Temwa Shawinga, Bia Zanarat, Esther Gonzalez, and Manaka Matsukubo. Lori, who wins it for you? This is a tough MVP race.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, it's a no-brainer in terms of Shawinga. Dynamite, consistently, just the best right now. And I think all of those players, tremendous and what was needed. But I think, You still look at Chewinga, and there's just another level. The difference that she makes when she's on the field, regardless of what team it would be, is just like no one else.
Yeah.
It's so hard. It's so hard because I consider her unstoppable. I think Sandra Chewinga is unstoppable. Just when you think you're plugging up her pace, she'll keep the ball tight. Just when you think you're stopping her shot, she'll dish the ball for an assist. She can score, outside the box, finishing one touch on a cross. She can do it all. I think she is incredible. However, I just think there's so many good players on this list. And like Esther, there was a time that if she wasn't doing what she was doing, Gotham would have been in 10th place.
Yeah.
She was literally carrying Gotham, the only one scoring, the best player in the league at that chunk of time, middle to late. Even more so was standing out more to me than Temwa, because she had to do so much at that time on her own and was just constantly banging in goals. This is so hard to snuff Esther. And even Bia, guys, I'm a huge Bia fan. You know this. Like, she has an element to her game that no one else in this league has. And that uniqueness is so valuable to me and stands out so much that I want to vote for her for MVP. But it's when you think of Temwa, it's just not that same effect.
Yeah, I think, you guys know I'm a big Temwa skincare routine fan, football player fan, human fan. She's incredible. I think we saw Kansas City struggle of even their own style of play when she's not there. They were playing long, like she was still on the field when she wasn't, and I think it ended up being a hindrance to their actual game. And that team looks completely different. I think that game would have gone differently if this whole playoffs would be totally different if Temwa was healthy. So TemVP times 2 from all of us. I love that we all agreed on that one, but incredible list of players that were standout, all MVPs for their respective clubs. Well, we're going to talk about Women's Champions League next. Some more Americans overseas that are absolutely crushing it on match day 3. So stick with us after this quick break.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it? Can you handle it? The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount+.
Hey friends, welcome back to Attacking Third. I'm glad that my sound stayed on this time. You guys can hear me. I can hear you. This is great. We had a really big week in Women's Champions League. I hope you all watched the coverage. We had a great studio show around all of the matches. And we're going to be talking about Americans. But before we get started, we wanted to send our well wishes, all of our healing energy to Atletico Madrid's Andrea Medina, the Portuguese international, who suffered a head injury last night in the game against Juventus and had to be stretchered off. We're all sending love and prayer to her because the club released a statement saying she was doing well and will undergo additional testing. Outside of that, though, some huge positive. The Americans overseas crushed it. Let's start with Chelsea because Kat Macario is killing it. We were concerned about, if the players coming back, does that affect her playing time? She said, hold on, and got a brace. She gets a brace leading this team. Alyssa Thompson had a good game. She ultimately got the penalty that Kat Macario ends up stepping up and finishing. Naomi Girma, we saw get some minutes. She played 45 with Chelsea and just looked like she hasn't taken any time off away from the pitch. I mean, talk about grace personified in a player. But that game was, I think, such a big statement for Chelsea moving forward, looking at the depth that they have. But who from their squad impressed you guys the most?
I mean, I think we knew it was going to take a little bit of time for Alyssa Thompson to just kind of, get her feet wet and get comfortable. After she scored that goal in league last week where she gave it wide and then got in the box and finished it first time, I was like, okay, here we go. And that's why Americans love to go overseas. Their dream of playing in the Champions League and scoring goals on that stage is what excites them. So I think that's great. And then Kat Macario getting that brace right on time. I can't wait to watch her with the U.S. Women's national team versus Italy, in a couple weeks.
Yes.
See her.
Do you feel like torn in a way about that?
Yes. I know. But to see our important national team stars, doing their thing right now is making it exciting to watch the games this crazy November.
Yeah, no, I feel like I'm loving the way that Kat Macario's playing right now. Even just watching
Yeah.
that game, just dropping in the passes that she was playing against a team that sat back. I mean, you have to have somebody that's comfortable in the ball, that finds like the seams to be able to open up space. And I feel like we saw her do that the entire game. So, and I was just remember thinking, like, I love this for her because of the battles. We were all unsure on what the trajectory of her career is going to look like because of her injuries, what she had to deal with the early days of Chelsea, even when Emma was still there. So to see her back and playing the style that she's playing, which we all have seen and known she's more than capable of, I think it just like warms my heart in that way. I know Sam Kerr is not she's not an American.
She's like an honorary American.
Yeah, she's an honorary American for her time here in NWSL and being married to Christy Mewis. Or are they married? Anyway, having the baby and them being together. She's part of the soccer family here in America. But for her to get the 2 goals, listen, after that long layoff too, I think is incredible. So huge win for Chelsea. And I'll just be excited to see how this continues for them and really I wish that Naomi Gurmai goal had stood, because
I know
of those defenders.
It was so good.
What? Go on, man.
It was a defender goal.
Minutes.
Yeah, no, she absolutely crushed. I think the Americans for Chelsea were great, but also the Americans for my personal favorites in Champions League, Lyon, are incredible. Mm-hmm. Corbin Schrader getting the nod again, Lindsey Heaps getting the nod, Lily Johannes coming in later in the game. That team is, we talked about Chelsea being stacked. Lyon is like,
it's wrong.
Superpower to superpower to superpower. And that core midfield is such a joy to watch. Lindsey Heaps had a brilliant free kick that ended up in Ada Hegerberg's goal. Kisses off of the crossbar. Hegerberg ends up heading it in. Corbin Schrader's been a physical force for Lyon. I think we've seen her grow a lot. And Lily Johannes, although she didn't start, imagine being that young and being able to just train in that environment, watch these players get to jump on the field and play. Like, her ceiling is so freaking high, and I love watching that midfield trio.
They're smooth. That's what I think every time. The rotations, there's just a real knowing about one another. Lindsey Heaps, I feel like, has really, in my personal opinion, continues just to mature as a player. We've always seen what she brings on the field, but I feel like being a captain with Emma Hayes on the U.S. Women's National Team, there's just like another level to her game now of maturity. And the free kick was dynamite from that distance too.
Yeah.
I mean,
soft.
Is she serious with that rocket? I mean, my goodness.
No, it's fun. I freaking love Champions League. I can't get over it.
I was just thinking, I was like, we need to do a like top 10 Golossos or top 5 Golossos of like match days, because there are so many, especially when like Barcelona's playing, which shout out to OH Leuven. No Americans on that team, but love OH Leuven. They put up a good fight against Barcelona. Okay, mixed bag of performance. I think still a great first 45, and then Bayern turned it around. Let's talk about the Arsenal-Bayern game. Emily Fox was dynamite in the first 45 minutes. Wow. She ends up picking up the ball, following up a shot after a save from the keeper and putting it away, just a little dink over the top, and gets a goal in the Champions League. Not her first, but I think it was such a statement, and she shut down Clara Bull in the first 45 minutes. They had no answer on her right side. And McCall, were you just so impressed with what she did?
I mean, I'm so happy for Foxy, because she's not that shiny player that gets forward and scores goals very often. And so for her to like get on her bike, get in the box, use her head, that bravery a little bit too. Like when the goalkeeper's coming out like this and you're like, oh my gosh, are they going to kind of like come out also and punch me in the face? Like she was just like, I'm going to dink this. I'm in here. Great first half, great defender. Happy for her to get a goal and get a little bit of glory. But then, you know, when you're chopped in the second half and you're spinning around as a defender, that never feels good. So I'm kind of sad for her that it ended on a negative note when I feel like she had such a brilliant first half that she deserved. Yeah.
Yeah. Raquel said Arsenal was dynamite in the first half, and then the second half happened with the emoji. Like, I'm impressed with how Bayern came out.
Yeah, and Harder doesn't
interview
get
a couple
credit.
players.
Wherever she goes, she did this with Chelsea. She does it with Denmark, and she's done it with. If she stays healthy now, she's doing it with Bayern. but she is a game changer. She is way faster than a lot of people give her credit for. She has a ton of ground. She's super smooth on the ball, and she just has a knack for scoring goals. And I felt like that change, as soon as she comes on, changes the course of the game.
Crazy. Loves to score against Arsenal too. I think there was a stat yesterday that was like,
too, I feel like.
yeah, it was like 12 goals against Arsenal all time. It was some stat like that. I'll check and put it on my socials or something. But we had one more American we didn't get to see on the pitch, but we got to see her on the sideline, was Valentolis Joyce, supposedly dealing with injury to her face. So she sat out of this game, but United end up getting the win 2-1 over PSG. And there was a really cute moment between her and Mary Earps at the end of the game, just chopping it up. That's Mary Earps' old squad, Man United, and probably just an honor to see the legacy that she's left at that team, and Valentolis Joyce fully step in and absolutely just kill it. We love to see it, and hopefully we'll see her next. And I'm sure we'll be talking about it more next week after we wrap up Champions League for this month. But ladies, this was such a fun show. I love that we got our predictions in for the semifinals this weekend. Lori, what game are you going to be calling?
I'm calling the Washington Portland game.
Tune in, everybody.
Tune in. Lori crushes it. We hear her everywhere. Excited for that match. Ladies, this was such a fun show. Everybody, appreciate you tuning in, whether you're here live with us on YouTube, listening on Golazo.net, or listening as a podcast. We appreciate it. A3 will be back Sunday at 5 p.m. unless there's more extra time, which is the way things have been going. Let's hope not. Let's hope it gets done in 90 minutes. But we'll be here at 5 p.m. right after the Orlando Gotham game for special player interviews, recap of the semifinals, and our best 11 of the semifinals round. From McCall, Lori, producer Audrey, and Trey, I'm Darian, and this was Attacking Third.